Good morning everyone. In this session, I just want to discuss about client-side scripting variables with a scripted tag and also what are the subtags you have, like attributes you have in the scripted tag, and also we have seen what are the different types of writing a JavaScript program internally and also externally. In this session, I wanted to show you about JavaScript variable. So, how to declare a variable here. Then primitive types, what are primitive types, what are literals, other primitive types, declaring variables and all. So, what is a JavaScript variable? These are the containers storing the data values. Okay. So, as I told you, reserved words are there. Reserved words cannot be defined as a variable names, identifiers. Okay. All JavaScript variables must be identified and unique names, and these unique names are called identifiers. Okay. Identifiers can be short names like X, Y and more descriptive, like, and there's no limitation, but it should not start with any other special character other than underscore dollar. And also it should not start with a number. You have to follow that. That is the only limitation you have. So here how you can create a variable is using this var keyword. So var x equals to 5, var y equal to 6. What is here? X and y are the variables. So what you are doing, var z equals to x plus y. Already your variable is defined, but you are not going to define any data type here. It is weakly typed. So you are not going to define any data type, just directly var x, var y. Okay. So general rules, what are the basic rules you have for creating the variables? Names can contain letters, can contain digits, underscores, dollar signs. It must begin with a letter. Names must begin with a letter, can also begin with dollar underscore, can contain letters, digits, underscores, and can also begin with dollar underscore. It is case sensitive. Y and capital Y both are different. You cannot give Y and capital Y. Reserved words, so cannot be used as a identifiers. So these are case sensitive. So here you have a primitive type. JavaScript defines two entities, primitive and objects. Primitives are which stores the values, like X is storing 10, Y is storing some other 20, like that it stores the values, and object storing the reference to the actual value. So here primitive types are number, they can store number, string like any text, boolean, true or false, undefined and null. So these are the primitive types you have. Then three types of predefined objects. Predefined objects, again number, string, object. So here what is that? You have an object which is referring with some value, three predefined objects. So here this is what it is, a reference. So in the memory location, in this memory location, what is the value that is stored? 10. So what is obj here? It is going to refer this 10. So this is how a number, or it can also be given for string, it can also be given for boolean. So this storing in some other place and getting that reference, using the reference, printing that as a object. So these are the two, primitive and objects. Primitive, directly you are storing the value in X with the name X. X is a identifier. X is a unique identifier. Then X is 10. If you are giving X equals to 20, again this will be replaced with 20 and X will be 20 here. When you are giving capital X, you can't print that with small x because it is case sensitive. Okay. Literals. Describes two literals, numeric literals and string literals. Numeric literals are example like anything, simple value with non-decimal values, decimal values also. And string literals, either you can also use double quotes or single quotes. Sequence of characters enclosed in doubles or single quotes is nothing but a string literal. Literals are nothing but the values that you assign. So these can be numeric or these also can be strings. And other primitive types like boolean like true or false, and null. Null means no value. You can use null if you don't wanted to assign any value. Undefined, if a variable is explicitly declared and not assigned any value. Variable is declared but not assigned any value, that is undefined value. So no reserved words is undefined, but the browser displays it. Okay. So, how to declare a variables is just this is example of sum of two numbers. Then this I have assigned to C. Actually, you have to get document dot write. So, here C. Okay, 5. So, this is the output of XML scripting program. This is how you have to write a scripting. So, we will see external scripting once. Okay. So, here I am removing all this. Then I have to pass source here. Source equals to, what is the source? Script dot js. This is the source. So, where is my script dot js? Let me remove these also. Okay, see you are getting. So, let me give here because see double quotes, if you give, what happens, it will take it as a string and it will print, but here you have to give only C. So, only C means what? It will take it as a variable after passing. So, A plus B is solved here and you have to get this. So, this is 5. Okay. So, what is the difference that you have to notice here is, when I give double quotes, this is my external script I have given, here I have given source as script.js. Here what happens if I execute? I am getting C only. Why? We have given double quotes here. Double quotes indicates that you are defining character or you are defining string. So, here you just pass C. 5. That is the output. Okay. So, let me give here okay. So, the result is what? 5. So, to print the result in front of that, so you are passing the string to document.write. So, this is how you will execute a script program, okay, using variables. Then we will move to scope of variables. Scope determines accessibility, 3 types: block, function. So, one is a block, second one is a function, and third one is a global. So, let and constant. Let is to define within the block, which cannot be accessed outside the block. Okay. Provide the block scope. So, let and constant, these two are the keywords that you can use where to define everything within the block. Variables declared inside these block cannot be accessed outside. So, let, if you are giving x equals to 2, within this block only you can use it. After that you cannot use this. That is the use of let. Okay. So, here you have x equals to, let x is given and x is equals to 10, document.write x. So, let me show you this also. Okay. Let me execute that. So, 10 you are getting. So, what happened? Why you are getting 10 here? Just we have given let. Let means what? Within the scope you are defining. When you are defining within the scope here, that means it cannot be accessed outside. So within the block only you can give. So this document.x only is giving you 10. This document.x is not giving. That's why you are getting only 110 as a output. Now if you see this where keyword cannot have a block scope. So here where is there, and when you are giving where, this also is printing, this also is getting printed. So check this. Where I have given not let. When I give where, what happens? So 2 tens you are getting. Why you are getting 2 tens? So there is no scope here. Variable in whatever you are declared within the block also is getting printed. Outside the block is also getting printed. To restrict that, we are going to use let keyword. Okay. So here when you are using where, it is going to print this also as 10, this also as 10. Next, local scope or function scope. Local scope means within the block again. So whenever it is declared within the JavaScript function, then it becomes a local. So my function is there. Function, my function. This is you are calling the function. And when your function is declared, you can need to define this with the keyword function. Okay. This is the name of the function. Okay. So let us use again. What does this mean? This will not work. This will work. What you are printing? This one. What is the output? Volvo will be the output. When you call this function will execute. But since you are using let here, the output will be Volvo. Only this line will get printed. This will not printed because that is out of the scope. That is also called local scope. Okay. Now what is global? Global here is variables which are declared outside the function becomes global. That means what? Outside the function. Where is my function here? This is my function. Okay. This when I am declaring my function, I have not declared anything here. When I call my function, it has to print a document.car name. But what happens? Your print. Let me show you with the execution whether it gives you the output or not. Why? Because we have declared this as a global. You need to check the difference between those two. So here when I given as a global, see the output? You are getting Volvo. Because you have defined this outside. So let me do this inside. Okay, and outside I am not giving, so I am just keeping that in the comments, and I wanted to print this outside the function. Okay, see this. So once you are printing, because my function is there, you are calling my function. You have declared here and printing here, it is printing. Let me keep this also in double comment lines. Now see, no output. Why? Because why you are not getting output means this is defined, this is not given, which is given outside the function, but you have declared inside. This is called local. This is local. When you have defined locally and when you are calling this globally outside the function, okay, then what happens? It won't give you the output. So what we'll do? We have to define outside only. Okay. Then simply you will get no, because we are calling this function, right? So when you call that function, you have to get. Oh, here I didn't remove. Within the function, you have to write this because you are calling the function. That is all. Okay. So this is how you have to execute, you have to write a Scope, within the scope or outside the scope, you can define the variables. There are three different scopes. So in this session, I have told you how to declare a JavaScript variable, what are the different primitive types like numbers and strings, and literals also we have discussed, and the scopes like using let, var, constants, and locally, globally, how you have to define that I have discussed. Thank you all.